Last week in the season opener of the Powerade Truck Series, we saw a barn burner of a finish with Simmet Oskin barely hanging on to dominate that one and get his first win on the channel and his first Truck Series win. But tonight is where the real season begins, race 2 of 16 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Later on in the week we will crown the National and Cup Series champions. But tonight is race 2 on the season for the Powerade Truck Series, and it's the Lenovo 200 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's up everyone, this is Boy Place 97 aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome to race 2 of 16 for the 2025 Powerade Truck Series. And this is going to be a fun week on the channel. Of course, later on in the week this weekend we got the finales for the Krispy Kreme National Series and the JBL Cup Series. But tonight is race number 2 of the Truck Series, and this season is just getting started. And many can say that this is where the real season begins. Race 2 on the season at Charlotte, and then on Glen, and then Oswego Dirt. So 4 different track types in the first 4 races, and we gotta see how it all plays out. But we got the driver starting on pole, who's been really good this year across the board and everything, but he kind of wants to not focus about the last weekend and this weekend, and he kind of wants to focus on what's based off of what happened at Montsville and going into Atlanta. But first, we got Matthew Hubert back up here in the booth for this one, the owner of Spire, and welcome back to the Powerade Truck Series for race 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, great to be back, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit nervous for this weekend. For one, the final race for both National and Cup, and there is still a good chance for Logan to get a championship if all goes well. Unfortunately, can't be the same for the National Series. That is mainly between Rose and Jericho now. And ironic we're going to Charlotte Motor Speedway here. It's a similar track to Atlanta, and it's basically like a testing thing for not only that weekend, but also for the Powerade 200 in Atlanta coming in December.
Absolutely. The finale for the Truck Series will be at Atlanta, and like you mentioned, Atlanta and Charlotte are kind of similar, both mile and halves. Atlanta just a smidge bigger, and the corners at Atlanta are a little bit wider. You can run everywhere, but I think here you can also run everywhere, especially here for these Truck Series drivers. And unlike Atlanta, it's not as bad with the tire fall, so that's gonna be something where these guys, it's about a second instead of maybe 2 seconds. So you gotta see how that all plays out. But of course, last week at Daytona, Simmet Oskin won the Burger King 250 in dominating fashion, but not by much, over Jonathan Wallen in second in the point standings. But this is a tricky racetrack. Before we get to the points, this is a track not like Atlanta, because especially pit road. This is a very, very tricky pit road to get onto. You brake late, and we've seen it before, where sometimes these drivers will overshoot the pit entry, and they will get a penalty. And we've also seen it before. We have contact on the exit of the pit stall, and that can cause some chaos right there. So for these drivers, there's only 20 to 24 laps of fuel here in this 34 lap race. What do these guys need to do to try and win here today at Charlotte?
Mainly, they'll need to time their strategy perfectly, like pit around. You said 24 laps would be the maximum for the tire fall off, and tire fall off isn't too bad compared to Atlanta. Hopefully they do get the pit road lane right. God forbid what happens in the National Series race happens here as well.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen again. That was definitely a moment of all time, especially for it to be part of the Drivers Only broadcast. But we gotta see what ends up happening. Gonna be a fairly racy race track. Gonna be able to run everywhere here tonight. And it is Cement Oskin as the point leader after winning at Darlington last week, has a 4-point lead over Jonathan Wallen in second, Ben Watson in third, 5 points behind Kyle Sestry in fourth minus 6. Last year's champion Jordan Stout starting off right with a top 5 at Daytona minus 8, Sam Badillo in 6 minus 9, Juan Garcia in 7th minus 10, Roberto Crown Jr. in 8th minus 11, Emily York Watson in 9th minus 12, and then Logan Williams in 10th minus 13. Points don't really matter too much right now, but it might matter if this guy, Logan Williams, wins here tonight on the pole, and he's trying to kick off the season with back-to-back top 10s. And alongside him is William Ayers in that number 5 machine, his teammate. And then Duncan Wood in the number 52, and the number 98 of A. Ralford, the number 18 of Roberto Crown Jr., and the 77 of Chris Jericho, Ryan Dwani and Nicholas Samadillo. And around at the top 10 is Juan Garcia and Alexander Lowe. And we gotta see what ends up happening. One quick side note, unfortunately, Santi Messi had a tire go down in the simulated qualifying, so he was 4/10 slower because of that in qualifying. So, gotta see what he and his teammate Josh Williamson can do starting in the last row here tonight. But I'm gonna pass on to you. 34 laps for the Lenovo 200 race 2 on the season. Who do you think will win underneath the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
There's a lot of good drivers in the field, and with good teams as well. I'd watch out for Duncan Ward in the 52. There is a reason this guy won the Wassup Cup Series last year, and I think he could be a dark horse for the championship if all goes his way.
Absolutely. Duncan's been really hot in the Krispy Kreme National Series, really during the summer. Has 3 wins, just won at Mullinsville. Had an outside chance at that title, but he could be a strong contender here in this one throughout the fall and winter. And I like this driver pairing of Jack Haas and Duncan Wood in this truck team. And we all see what ends up happening. And also, hopefully Eli Bright in the 42 has a better result than what happened at Daytona. Of course, he was running up front in that one before a motor expired late on lap, I believe, lap 17. And we gotta see what ends up happening. It is a Toyota 123 on the first 3 spots. And it's a Tricon Garage front row of Logan Williams and William Ayers. Everyone is gonna keep on rolling, so we are good. And race 2 on the season for the Powerade Truck Series is about to go green with Williams and Ayers on the front row. The Lenovo 200 at Charlotte is green flag racing for race number 2 on the season. Great start from Duncan Wood and Logan Williams. Logan Williams will lead lap number 1, but I don't know if he's going to lead lap number 2 as Duncan Wood's going to go side by side for the race lead. And we always saw it through 3 and 4 where both countries slipped up and Dewani got to the inside. This is going to be a race track here tonight where you can run in theory everywhere here on this 1.5 mile racetrack. And Duncan Wood side by side still for the race lead.
And he is going to clear Logan Williams. And good starting position there for Rain Durrani in the 33. Rain Durrani did make the playoffs in the National Series there for JGR with Will Parrish. And, of course, won 5 races as an owner for Wood Brothers with Andrew Miller. So, Rain Durrani should know what he is doing there. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a good move here. 3 wide for a moment there. 15 and the 18 there for Roberto Crown Jr. made a 3 wide there. Juan Garcia moving into the top 5 past Logan Williams. But as of right now, it's Ward and Durrani pulling away from the rest of the field.
Durrani is fast in that 33 truck here tonight. And we saw this at Daytona. All 3 Williams trucks were really fast with Payne Boone as the owner. And we kind of saw it in the Super Speedways this year, but I don't think any of us were expecting this, but I'm not too surprised. Giovanni, he outperformed his equipment this year. Will Perez not that great of a season in the National Series, with all due respect, but Giovanni has been the shining star over there. Made it into the chase, and he's done great here tonight. Gonna try and go side by side for the race lead. A little bit of a close call there. And he's gonna go for the race lead off turn number 4. And how about some of these drivers right behind him? Last year's champion, Jordan Stout, Juan Garcia, the season 1 champion, and local millions all inside the top 5. Ned Lopez, Chris Jericho, Matthew Burnett, and Avery Alford, and Aaron Abel, last season's Charlotte winner, all inside the top 10, it looks like. Some 3 wide in the back part of the field, but some fantastic racing early on here at Charlotte.
Good move there from the Furry Free to get by the 52. As he said there, Rain Durrani has a good car in the first term. I almost said Caleb Rose. That's Jordan Stout in the 19. Jordan Stout getting by Duncan Ward. Same with Logan Williams. And I want to see if Jordan Stout could manage to defend his championship there. Especially if Will Parrish has managed to revamp this team from last season.
Absolutely. Last year, he had a good year as a team owner. This year, not so much in the Cup and National Series, but he might be turning a new leaf. You know, got the 19 of Jordan Stout, definitely a force to be reckoned with. Up into the 2nd place spot, Jericho, he could have a big week trying to win the National Series Championship, and he's going to blow on by the number 52 of Duncan Wood. And like I said, there's about a second of fall off, and I don't think it's really affecting right now, but that 77 is a rocket ship here at Charlotte. Oh my goodness, what a move from Jericho. Gonna force his way past, and that's gonna be like 2 spots in 1 corner from the 77.
And wow, Chris Jericho, not surprised that he's moving his way up to the front. Started on the outside lane there, getting by both Jordan Stout and Logan Williams and all those guys. Great to see Avery Alford here up inside the top 5 in the 98 for 4Sport. That team really struggled last year. You can probably tell why that's the case. New team owner there in Rogel Dorn. So hopefully this team can be able to compete more often.
I think that's going to be the case, because you got 3 of those 4Sport trucks before with 1 under the reins of it, inside the top 10, and the 13 is not too far behind, inside the top 15. Eli Blight in the top 15 as well, just outside of it. And gotta see if how it all plays out. Unfortunately, Cement Oxkin is not really making much progress, still in the back part of the field. Same fouls in a row. John Florence, Zachary Fitzgerald across the middle. William Ayers, who started 2nd here tonight, is all the way in last place. And I think it's easy to say that it is still fairly competitive throughout this field, but Jericho has a bad, fast car, or truck I should say, here tonight. Stout in 3rd, running a higher lane, and might have to watch out for Aaron Abel. Won this race last season, and he might try and get a 2nd straight Charlotte win in the truck. And I'm starting to see some of these stronger teams like Will Parrish and McInally, Spire, and a little team got 2 trucks up here. Thor Sports looks strong, and we might have a battle for the race lead as Jericho's closing in fast on Ryan Dwani.
Passing the Furry Free is, catching up to Furry Free is one thing. It's gonna be a bit more difficult to pass him with the tire degradation, but it's not gonna say it's impossible to do it there. Sam Adio's now inside the top 5 almost, or not quite, he's in 7th, as 3 of the 4 4Sport cars pushing Juan Garcia up to the outside lane. Same with Mendoza in the Furry 2. Matthew Burnett up into the top 10 now. Great to see him. I'm gonna be honest, kind of struggled a bit in the National Series. Hopefully he can recover next year.
Got a win at least at Richmond for the team, and a solid start here tonight. in that 45. Battle for the third place spot between Duncan Wood and Jordan Stout. Jordan's really trying that higher lane. That's kind of what I was talking about at the start. You can kind of run everywhere, but the inside lane's still going to be where you want to be for the most part. I think Jericho has a better long one truck here. A great 1 through 3 and 4. All over the back bumper up Dwayne side by side now. Entering the turn 1 area. Jordan Stout going to do a crossover for third. Fantastic racing all the way almost halfway through in this one. And we are about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps away from pit stops. And it's going to be interesting of what is a Papley crossover move from Durrani. Great stuff he's on at Charlotte.
Durrani's not quite done with leading the race yet, and this is going to be a bit crucial here considering pit stops are only about less than 10 laps away. It's going to be crucial here to try and have a buffer between here, but these two fighting each other is allowing Duncan Ward, Jordan Stout, and the Tricon teammates of Abel and Logan Williams to catch up. And not too far behind them is Sam Adio and Avery Alford.
Absolutely, and gotta see what that 99 can do. Sam Adio looking for his first cup win here still. Maybe he can get that in the finale here on, I believe, Sunday. But he's trying to get a 12 win here tonight in his only second start. And that pit stop is going to be very crucial with everyone just being so close together here. The top 10 really has a really good chance depending on what ends up happening during the pit stops. I believe we will be officially halfway through here in this one. Duncan Wood in second now. And pit stops about a handful away, about 5 laps time. Wood's going to try and dive it in 1 and 2. Not going to quite get there with Jericho blocking. But fantastic stuff here at Charlotte. Jericho in the lead, Wood in second for now. Durrani, Abel, Stout, Logan Williams, Alfred, same with Dio, Burnett, and Lopez running out of the top 10. And there's just so much stack. This field was so set throughout the entire grid. And how about the number 9, Josh Williamson? He started deep in the field in the last roll, and now he is inside the top 15 halfway through the Lenovo 200.
Yeah, good recovery drive there for Josh Williamson and teamer there Bernardo De Oliveira. Now teamer there for CR7 Motorsports. Duncan.
Oh boy!
Oh, that's
oh boy! Oh
there.
No!
And there goes Ryan Durrani. This is gonna be big.
Avery Alford! Oh no! Big crash!
Oh no! Big wreck.
I was saying, well, Avery Alford. First of all, that is the Charlotte big one.
That's half the field.
Oh my goodness.
Rose destroyed. Alford's destroyed. William Ayers outside Pulse there. And unfortunately, Alexander Rowe among many others.
Oh my goodness.
And I saw that happening a mile away.
I did too. Unfortunately, Williamson, as we just mentioned, inside the top 15, and that is one thing I forgot to mention. This is a tricky pit road, but I forgot to mention it's tricky on the racetrack as well. For that same reason, Duncan Wood and Ryan Durrani, so many good ones right there just got cut short. And we didn't get the big one at Daytona, Matthew, but we sure got one here at Charlotte.
Oh, man. There is gonna be a lot to pack in there. Man, tough break for Ryan Durrani. Had that good qualifying run, 3rd and 7th. And had things gone his way, he may have been a good contender for the race win. But now, there's not anyone else even left.
There's not many trucks left. Absolutely. I think April is going to be good. The 52, 56. And honestly, the trucks that pitted a lap earlier, right when it was happening, like Stout, Williams, Lopez, and Jericho, among others, these guys will be good. But everyone that stayed out kind of got the short end of the stick on that one. And this is going to be fairly interesting of what ends up happening. I don't know if Abel might have been able to beat them out on the racetrack. So it might be last year's Charlotte winner as the race leader, and you can always see several trucks going to the garage of the 1371 and the 5, among others, I would assume. The Charlotte big one, we didn't get one at Daytona, surprisingly, but we definitely got one at Charlotte, and we made up for last week, that's for sure. We're gonna go and see of what ended up bringing the caution and go through the big one. And I believe Abel is gonna be the race leader, and he is. So this is gonna be an interesting restart. And let's go ahead and see and try and break down the Charlotte big one here in race 2 on the season in the Lenovo 200. Here we go. This is what happened to about the first caution of season number 6 of the Powerade Truck Series. And no, it was not at Daytona. It was the big one at Charlotte. And Jericho started this for pit stops, but definitely wanted to slow down, went up the racetrack. And meanwhile, Giovanni was still up to speed. He hit the outside wall, and I guess Dunkel was not happy about that. And decided to just turn Ryan Giovanni, who sucks for him because he was having a fantastic night, possibly even the best truck of the night. Slides up into a Ralford, into the 98. He hits the outside wall, and then he is going to bounce back into the 45 and spin around fully. And then this is a bad spot to be in. The 32, Mendoza, and then a huge shift for Octavian speeding. Josh Williamson, Caleb Rose, Carlos right out in a row. And essentially right here as Williamson gets on his 2 wheels there. The track is blocked. Shane Kane and the 13 is going to get ran into as the 98 takes a couple of more big shots. And in comes the 41, 27, 5, 43, and the 25 all pile in. And this is a certified track blocker moment if I've ever seen one here at Charlotte. And unfortunately, so many trucks are going to get torn up. And so many good trucks involved in this one as well. And the heartbreaker of the night is going to be that 33 of Ryan Giovanni. Tough break for everyone that piled on in. Not much you can do when the track gets blocked like that. And a tough break for everyone involved. Not the way they wanted to start the season here in the Powerade Truck Series. For a big one here in race 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So, I'm not sure if there's any one person really at fault here, but I'm just gonna let the video speak for itself. As huge hits there for especially Octavian Speeds there in the 15, just clobbering there, but it's just freak accident there. A lot of drivers with nowhere to go, and some of the I just don't know. I really don't.
That was what we missed out on at Daytona last week, and we didn't get, and now we got here at Charlotte. One thing that we forgot to mention is that interesting strategy is that everyone that pitted right when that crash was happening, all these guys took 4 tires, and then Abel, Ward, Watson, Hernandez, and the 45, but Bennett, all 5 and everyone else that pitted took 2 tires. So we didn't really catch that live, but there you go. So these guys pitted a lap later and they took 2 tires, and then the trucks that pitted a lap early took 4. So take that as you will, but it will be Abel as our race leader here in this one. And we gotta see what ends up happening with 10 laps to go on the restart here in the Lenovo 200 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, welcome back to Charlotte after the big one down the front stretch. Didn't get a big one at Daytona, but we definitely got one here at Charlotte for the first caution of season number 6. We only have 20 trucks left. 12 are out. Shane Kane, Alexander William Ayers, Avery Alford, Octavian Speedings, Felicity Mendoza, the 33 of Ryan Giovanni, heartbreak for him, Josh Williamson, who we just mentioned before that wreck, the 91 of Caleb Rose, the 76 of Mackenzie Vestergaard, And then the 41 of Angel Gutierrez and the 27 of Jonathan Wong. We still have 20 torques left on the racetrack, a couple left damage. Last week's winner of Cement Oskin is missing a hood now, but we gotta wait and see if what ends up happening. It's gonna be 10 laps to go. Last year's Charlotte winner of Enable is now the race leader. Duncan Wood, who kind of caused that, is gonna be in second. We'll see of how much damage he has. Benny Watson is in third, Burnett in fourth, Hernandez in fifth, Stout, Jericho, Williams, Lopez, and Sam Dio will round out the top 10. And we gotta see what ends up happening. Everyone should be good to make it. And we are gonna go back with 10 laps to go in the Lenovo 200. Everybody single filed at the moment. And, oh yeah, there's a couple of slow twists. Looks like the 22 is a little bit slow. Back up front, Duncan Wood going to go for the race lead in the 52 twat. Little pick to the inside. Burnett on the move, and all of a sudden everybody is double file here at Charlotte.
You would think they would be racing each other with more caution after, you know, half the field got eliminated. But I guess I'm proven wrong as, oh look, we're free wide again.
Bananas might have scraped the wall a smidge off turn number 2 there. And now this is going to be interesting. About 10 laps to go is perfect for the tires. It's about after 10 laps when the tires really wear off. So this is going to be very interesting. Wood, though, he was one of the strongest trucks all race long, even with maybe a little bit of side damage. Burnett in third. How about Juan Garcia inside the top 5? Still 3 wide. Watson on the outside. Bradley Weem is on the move with the 38 twat. And Nick Lopez is making it 3 wide. And really is the top, let's see here, top 16 with no damage. All out of a shot, and they all under a blanket. But Duncan Wood, one of the best trucks all night long, out front. You know, that 52 machine. Juan Garcia going for third. And how about this? Kind of like last week. Late in the race, Eli Bright was up front, but he blew up. This week, he survived the craziness in carnage, and now he's inside the top 5, late in the going, but he's going to get chopped off by Garcia, but Garcia is going to get moved up the racetrack by Eli Bright.
Oh, man. I'm not sure. Oh, man. This is going to be chaos to going through there. Heck, Emily York Watson is now up to the 3rd position in that Young's Motorsport truck for John Andrews there. It is all on now.
Oh my goodness, Garcia trying to make King through Eli through the middle, and 1 to 2 worked out for him. But Emily York Watson almost stood up into Garcia. And look at Eli Bright, blew up last week at Daytona, and he had a shot out of a can. And now he is now side by side with Duncan Wood is easily going to take the race lead. Eli Bright, one of the more experienced drivers in the truck series, his 6th season in these trucks, and he has some of the most wins out of anyone in the truck series, 3 of them to be exact, and he's trying to get truck win number 4. Duncan Wood has fallen off in that 52 truck. I don't know what has happened to him, or maybe he just, I don't know if they adjusted it wrong, or tires, or what. Nick Lopez now side by side with Emily York Watson for the 2nd place spot. Garcia and Sam Badillo round out the top 5 with just 4 laps to go.
Man, it sucks that Duncan Ward fell off late in the going now, but it's a whole new cast of drivers to contend for the race lead now. Eli Bright, not really the season he wanted in the Ivor Cup or National Series, and he's looking to get a win in only race 2 after blowing an engine at Daytona, and he'll have to hold off Juan Garcia, another 6th season veteran of the Truck Series there. But behind them is 4 Sport teammates there, Lopez and Sam Adillo. And also big shout there for Emily York Watson running in the top 5 lane to going.
Absolutely, 2 laps to go, and I think maybe some of that damage that Duncan will have might be affecting him late in this race. And you mentioned it, 2 season 6 feather wins up front. Juan Garcia, the season 1 champion. Eli Bright, always so consistent in the truck series, trying to get a rebound one after Daytona, but Juan Garcia has a one in the number 7. It's going to be a close one here at Lenovo, or for the Lenovo 200. It's the Powerade one to go, side by side for the race lead. Juan Garcia and Eli Bright. Can Eli Bright get one off of 3, off in 1 and 2? He's not going to get it. How about Emily York Watson in the 02 truck? For Jones Most was going to go side by side. And I think that's going to do it. How about that? Juan Garcia, he won a couple of weeks ago at Gateway in the National Series. And now, he is a 6th-season veteran, a Season 1 champion, and welcome back to Victory Lane in the Truck Series. Juan Garcia wins a barn burner at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Wow. What a finish to that race it was. Congratulations to Juan Garcia there. Great guy. There's a reason why I signed him. He's one of the more consistent drivers in this series.
Absolutely. One of the most consistent, whether it's Reigns or not. And honestly, he's kind of underway with the whole Reigns era, as they got some interesting stuff going on in the back with Football Crown Jr. But he's a quiet and consistent driver. And, you know, he's won in everything this year. He won at Little Springs in the Cup Series, won at Gateway and the National Series, and now race 2 of the Truck Series. And he gets a win here tonight in a barn burner of a race. And that is Juan Garcia. He's consistent, but he can also be a race winner from time to time. Looks like maybe something happened with Carson Osweiler, Oscar and Zachary Fitzgerald. They were not originally a lap down before, so maybe they couldn't quite make it on field. They were all the way in the back anyway, but whew, what a race here at Charlotte, and so many crazy storylines in this one. Juan Garcia gets the win for the team of Spire. I'm stunned about Emily York Watson. 9th in points. Got a top 10 at Daytona. Top 10 again here tonight. Maybe be the point of the year. We gotta wait and see. Juan Garcia also got a top 10 at Daytona. Bright, what a rebound from blowing an engine to a 3rd place one. Sam Dio in 4th. Jericho, strong early on. Got shuffled in the back of the mid-pack after that big one, but he comes home in 5th. Lopez, Williams, top 10 again for him. Stout, another top 10. And then you got Ream in 9th and Roberto Crown Jr. in the 10th place spot. A lot of drivers that got a top 10 one at Daytona, got a top 10 one once again. So a lot of these drivers, I think you will see up front, are backing up here at Daytona to Charlotte. But what a race here tonight for race 2 on the season. What's the final thoughts from a barn burner Lenovo 200?
I have no idea what to expect. Atlanta surely can't be that chaotic. Like, I'm not even gonna mention it right now. Great to see the teams I expect to run up front here, Spire, Nice, and Force Sports running up front there. But sucks that Alexander Rowe, guys like Rowe, Alford, Octavian Speedings, and especially Ray Anzarani couldn't get the results they really wanted there.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Juan Duane, especially had a top 5 truck here tonight and got kind of taken out by Duncan Moore late in the pit stop cycle right there, and he unfortunately was one of many that were not able to finish this one. But luckily, I guess the only bright side is that a lot of the ones up front, right, White, and not really White, but Sam Dio, Jericho, Lopez, Williams, Stout, Abel, they were still up front in this one, and it was a fantastic battle late with 2 6th-season veterans in the Powerade Truck Series duking it out late, and Juan Garcia, his 4th win in the Truck Series, gets the win here tonight. Next week, we will go road course racing for the first time this season, and for the 3rd different track type in the first 3 races. A Super Speedway at Daytona, Mile Half Speedway at Charlotte, and then a road course next week, and then a short track / dirt track the week after that. So it's gonna be interesting, but what a racing. I don't know who's gonna be in title contention if it stays as chaotic as this. I think we got glimpses, but it's way too early to tell. Thanks for Matthew Hubert for joining me here tonight, and we gotta see what ends up happening. Next week is the full focus will be on the Powerade Truck Series, but this week we still got the finales to go. We still got to crown a Christopher National Series champion of either Caleb Rose, Chris Jericho, or maybe even Duncan Ward if things get crazy. And then in the Cup Series side, it's either gonna be Matthew Hubert, Anna Miller, Logan Williams, or Stuart Grimes. So we gotta see what ends up happening, what a season has been in those two, and what a first two races have been already in the Powerade Truck Series. We will see you guys next week at Watkins Glen International for Race 3, and congratulations to Juan Garcia on win number 4 in the Powerade Truck Series. We will see you guys next week at Watkins Glen International.